Welcome to Freethinkers Fireside, where we put the human and humanist in one cozy chat at a time. My name is Helen, also known as Housebells. Hi, everybody. So since I'm feeling better, it's going to be either weekly or like one interview a week or two. So this week I have one of my very favorite people, and probably one of the people I've known longest in the atheist activist community, and that would be my wonderful friend Rob Palmer. Not the one that sang
I am addicted to love and simply irresistible.
I'm addicted to love, yes. And what's the I was going to say Sharp Dressed Man. That's ZZ Top.
People may not know who he is.
It was the 80s was a wild time.
People may not know who he is anymore. I mean, there was a time whenever I gave my credit card to someone, that's Robert Palmer, the singer. But it's been enough decades. People don't think of that.
Yes, you should have been like, yes, I am. Even though he's dead.
I found out he died when I got to my office that morning. And there was a big sign on my door which said, Robert Palmer dead at the age of, 56. Somebody put that sign in my office.
That's hilarious.
And then all day people were coming by.
Okay.
Oh, you're still alive. That's surprising. I saw a sign.
You're still alive. It's like, yes. It's a great practical joke, though. I got to dig it. Because when else are you going to be able to do that? Anyway, so to my people that watch my face, tell the people who you are.
So I am a columnist for Skeptical Inquirer magazine, which is the premier magazine publication by any skeptical organization in the world, I would dare say. And
it's in the doobly-doo, guys.
That's my column name up there.
Yeah.
Up there? Is it up there? Yeah, that's my column name. And I got that as an interesting story. I'll maybe tell you about how I got that name later. But yeah, so I've been involved in the skeptical community since 2016. Do the math on that. Getting on 10 years now. I started writing for Skeptical Inquirer in 2018, and I'm a public speaker. I've spoken at places like Dragon Con and SciCon 4 times. I'm actually going to New York City this 2 months from now to do a talk on my other favorite subject, recovering from religion, which is where I met Helen, and I got involved with that when the pandemic started. And so they want I'm talking for the Humanist Society of New York, and they want to know about recovering from religion, so I'm going up to tell them all about it. I'm also I'm also a rocket scientist, just in case people. Retired.
Which brings me, just so you know, since you brought up, I was going to show you this before the show. My friend, I don't know, our friend Cosmic Kyle is a astrophotographer, and I get artwork. I get photographs from him. I have 7 now, I think. So I have this. This is when he sent it to me when I was sick. So he sent me that, and he sent me this, and he sent me this, and I have other ones too. So. If you go to Cosmic Kyle, he has some really great space photographs. So
now, of course, with AI, I can tell AI to make a picture like that, and you wouldn't know the difference. How do you know that's real?
Listen, Kyle wouldn't lie to me, okay?
We had a big snowstorm.
Also,
I put penguins. I had AI put penguins on my snow, and I showed it to people, and they go, "Oh, how'd the penguins get to your house?"
I fear.
Yeah.
I fear for humanity every day. So to be fair, we've been asking stupid questions like that forever. And for some reason, we still haven't died off for some reason. We are amazing creatures. Hi, Mark. Hello, Brian. Welcome to my stream. Please like and subscribe. I like attention. Anyway. So, Rob... When me and Rob because me and Rob used to see each other every week when we were doing RFRX Recovering from Religion, and he trained me, which is also really awesome. And we've known each other 6 years.
I didn't train. Just to be clear, I didn't train you to do RFRX. You popped in there before I did. Right?
No, I trained you to be an agent.
Yeah, I trained you to be a helpline agent, and then you just I'm not going to do that.
I did 3 phone calls, and I was just like, I can't with this, because
It's tough.
one, like, you're not supposed to talk about personal things about yourself.
Right.
But the thing is, though, I'm like, I deconverted. Let me tell you what it's like, and I can't do that. And then, because my thing is that my ADHD brain is that everything has to be related to something I care about, and I care about myself. So, and also feel like I had one guy, he kept like, I remember during the conversation, he was talking about like, well, because he was in this like fucking plate. He was in like this comic book store, and he saw someone, he was having a bad day, and he was wearing like this anime t-shirt. He's in a comic store. And then this other guy comes up and he says, "Oh, I'm a fan of that anime." And then they struck up a conversation, and then he found out that they had all this connecting stuff about them, and he thought that was a spiritual experience. I go, "How old are you?" He goes, "I'm 24. I go, "How old was that person that you met?" "In their mid-20s. Do you think they're from the same area you lived in? Did you find that?" "Yes." "Okay." And then I went down the reasoning. I'm like, okay, so you're both about the same age. What kind? You both like anime. You're both in a comic book shop. And then he was like, "Oh." And then, so I'm like, if I have to keep having this conversation, like, I didn't mind doing it for TikTok, but I think because with RFR, like I was supposed to be like a little bit more therapeutic, and I'm like, I'm not meeting people where they're at right now.
So
I really care.
You followed in the footsteps of Matt Dillahunty.
Yes, so, yes, basically.
Matt trained to be a helpline agent for recovering from religion early on, before he was really famous.
And, before he went to YouTube. When
yes, and quickly realized,
like when Dr. Ray did it, like.
Yeah. And just like you, he realized, no, this isn't for me, because he wants to, push back on these people, and that's not what you're supposed to do. So, like,
because at TikTok I could, but I could have like a 4 or 5 hour conversation, or I could have a 20-second one. As soon as someone started being a misogynistic, bigoted piece of poop, I'd be like, I don't have to talk to you. Bye. And then sometimes I would get into these really long conversations with people about epistemology, but but what was funny is that someone gave me a really nice compliment. They said and this was someone that showed up weekly, and he would just make comments and stuff, but he said, somebody asked, like, "Is this girl?" And he said, "She's very good, and she's very like patient and empathetic." And I was like, "Whoa, I matured." Like, I've grown. Anyway, we're going to talk about conspiracy theories, because I love conspiracy theories. So Rob and I were talking about ChatGPT before we started the show, and he was going to tell me about AI psychosis. So let's start there, because I'm very curious.
So this is not a conspiracy theory. This is actually a real thing. So I don't know if you want to talk
about okay. I thought it was conspiracy
theory. It has
to
do with AI, but it's not a conspiracy theory. So you want to talk about that? That's fine. I can. Yeah.
All right. Nemesis Sackwater wants to talk about. Said, "I love conspiracy theories too," so we're going to do that, because I always do what she says, because she's my dom. No, I'm just kidding. No.
but maybe everything they say is a non sequitur, so we don't have to pay attention.
Exactly. So okay, so you went through ChatGPT.
Yeah, knowing you wanted to talk about this.
Yes,
I gave ChatGPT a prompt, which was, I'll read it: "Can you give me a list of conspiracy theories ranked from high to low by the number of people who are assumed to believe it?" I wasn't sure how this was going to go.
Right.
I wasn't sure how that was going to go, but it actually answered pretty well. It listed a whole bunch of things from top to bottom, and I generally agreed with it. And then it left out one very big important one, and I told it about that, and then it said, "Oh, that's a good catch. That one absolutely belongs on the list." And then it went on to explain it and why it left it off originally. But shall I tell you what they are? What do you think the first one is? What do you think? And of course, this is not scientific. This is ChatGPT's opinion, but
flat Earth.
It seems reasonably true. No.
Oh, wait a minute. Is it by population, or which is the most weird? What's my category?
It's by the number of people who believe it or assume to believe it, or you can tell
Okay.
believe it because of what they post online. And I'll give you, this one says most widely believed by tens of millions of believers. And I think it's actually higher than that. Then it gave the percent of Americans who
that
believe
they're
it.
just 6,000 years old?
No, the JFK assassination conspiracy
Okay,
theory. All right. So it says
conspiracy theory. That's right. Bigfoot.
Wait. So 60 to 70% of Americans believe there was a broader plot and it wasn't a lone gunman. That's enormous. 60 to 70%.
What was that? I'm sorry. 60 to 70% of people believed what?
This is the JFK assassination conspiracy theory.
Oh, you know what? I was thinking like space aliens and cryptids and shit. I forgot that there was real world things that happened that people had conspiracy theories around. I'm sorry.
So, ironically, I had a friend.
60% of
60 to 70% of Americans think there was a broader.
That's insane. Too many people listen to Joe Rogan.
So the problem with this is, I know this is right because when you look at other conspiracy theories in the modern era and people say, you ask them, how did you get into this? I was watching a YouTube video about the JFK assassination, and then YouTube said, hey, you like that video? How about this one on flat earth or chemtrails or whatever? So yeah, because the JFK assassination doesn't need paranormal things or it's no aliens. Like it would just be a government cover up, right? It's possibly the most believable of them, and that's probably why the most people believe it. Right.
But okay, but the thing, okay, this is my thing, all right? Like MK Ultra was real, right? Okay. So why that was already a real conspiracy theory that we have confirmed, like all the other crazy shit that went with it. No, but did the government do terrible things with psychedelics and during the 50s, 60s, and yes, there's extended stuff on top of that you're just like, yeah, but I don't think they were like brainwashing pop stars, to follow the Illuminati, because that's part of that, and I'm like, MK Ultra was just basically people fucking with psychedelics, trying to figure out if they, would cause people to behave in ways that they didn't normally behave. But guess what? There was no regulatory control and a whole bunch of other things. Behind the Bastards did I think a 3 to 4 part series on MK Ultra. If you have, they are not a sponsor. It's just one of my favorite podcasts. Please go. Oh my God, I love that podcast. Go listen to that podcast, guys. But the MK Ultra stuff is fascinating. Like fascinating. It is that and the cult that I think they're called the Rizzies. I can't remember. There was a cult. Coleman has talked about this cult that they believe that they're like Sith Lords, and it gets better. So
that happened that happened a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away.
The leader of the cult is she's trans, and basically, because she's trans, she claimed that she has this very deep spiritual connection to the universe because she understands both sides of duality between the light and the dark side. And then it turned into people being killed, like in Course of Control and a whole bunch of other things. I forget the name of the fucking cult, but the fact that they also did a ton of Harry Potter references and Star Wars and like pop culture shit, and also brainwash people. Fascinating.
This one did not come up on the list anyway. All right, so let me answer.
So is the JFK? Oh no, I've forgotten. So if the JFK conspiracy theory is the highest number of believers, are we counting down or up?
We're counting.
Are we counting down or up?
Yeah, they started with the top one. So yeah, and again, this is an AI overview. I don't know how accurate it is. Generally, it seems reasonable, except for the one they left out, which we'll talk about last. So yeah, JFK assassination conspiracy theory, 60 to 70% of Americans. That is
okay.
So I have
the Illuminati.
Wait,
is it on the list?
Wait. I have a friend. Let me tell you about a personal relationship with the JFK assassination conspiracy. On the 50th anniversary, a friend of mine who was way into that went to Dallas. They had a big thing there to celebrate the 50th anniversary of shooting of JFK. Very strange. And there's tons of people on the stage. Some of them said it was the CIA. Some of them said it was the Cubans, whatever, right? And this was before smartphones, but he was texting me from there saying, "Oh, Rob, you should have come. This is amazing. How could you not believe this?" And then I asked him, "Is anybody talking about moon landing denials?" They go, "No, that's not the topic here." I said, "When you're mingling with people, could you ask them for me if any of them also don't believe we went to the moon?" Because my friend, this is Grant. Hello, Grant. My friend Grant was really into the space program. He believed it, for sure. And then an hour later, he texts me, "Oh my God, Rob, you're right. They also all don't believe we went to the moon." And that blew his mind. And it didn't blow my mind at all.
Oh, I didn't. No, I don't believe it. Because if you believe the government's behind everything, then they're behind the moon landing.
Right. Grant didn't fall into that category, but a lot of the people there did. Anyway, number 2 on the list, counting down, 15 to 30% of Americans express some doubt about the official account of 9/11. So again, it's a government cover-up story, sort of, right? Third one is also in that range. It's a COVID-19 origin conspiracy theory, where 20 to 40%, depending on the framing of the question, don't believe it was a natural thing to happen. Right. And then
one more thing. What was that?
That was the COVID origin theory, that it was purposely introduced, that kind of a thing. It was a man-made virus.
Oh yeah, I've heard that one. What's the percentage for that one?
That it says it was 20 to 40%, depending on the framing of the question. That's a big gap.
A lot.
The next one is what you said, Illuminati, right? They call it here New World Order, which applies to conspiracies.
One of my favorites, because I almost believed it for a hot second.
Wow.
Hot second. And then I thought
it?
about it for a little bit longer. And then Todd was like, "Let's think about this, Helen." And I was like,
so what was it? What was the information that was making you go down that path?
Because around that time, this was around the time I was working at the Spirit University, and I was going through the deconstruction, but I was trying to see if things there wasn't a God, but maybe there was some kind of connection to consciousness kind of thing that shows you patterns. And then because I'm listening to people that are persuasive and I didn't have all of my tools in my skeptic toolbox, I was like, maybe there is this. But then I was kind of okay, I can see governments and people with power, passing power down through generations that I get. That I can see power and influence and money. Got it. Those are real world things. Know that. But then when they got into what is basically QAnon now, which is eating babies, I was like,
that's on the list.
I was like, okay, we're beyond the pale now, because I was like, okay, I can see maybe they're trying to gain power and influence. They're signaling to each other because people do that as part of social culture, inside things that other people are going to get that you're not, right? But the thing is that then they jump to eating babies. And then when you jump to eating babies, I'm like, you've lost the thread now. So I blinked it for a hot second. And then when it went into crazy, I was like, nope.
All right. How about the next one on the list? Now we're down to 5 to 10% are firm believers, more who are unsure, supposedly. Chemtrails.
I told you about my neighbor that believes in chemtrails. Okay. I told you about my neighbor that would just casually would bring them up, and he was such a nice guy that you did do I want to sit here and be like, my dude? But also the most harmless, nicest guy that came over, when we were having hurricanes, it would help out our family and all. And I loved his mom. His mom was a peach. We would take care of their house when they would go on vacation and stuff, and they would look out for our. So again, do I really want to be like, yeah. I think chemtrails is bullshit.
Yeah, you gotta figure out when to fight the battles and when it's not worth it.
Right. He wasn't saying the government was listening to him through his phone line every single time he made a phone call. I was like, okay, fine. I'm like, it's relatively harmless.
So the next one is flat Earth. The next one's flat Earth. Only 1 to 3% express sympathy or uncertainty. 1 to 3% supposedly flat Earth.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, small. It says small but highly visible online community, and that for sure is true.
Yes, that is true.
Yeah,
I've engaged with that community.
And then the next one is the one you were talking about, QAnon, right? And then we get into really interesting things. Number 9 on the list of ChatGPT. Very low level of beliefs, but often cited more as a curiosity, reptilian conspiracy theory.
That's the one that's also related to the Illuminati, because somebody watched V and thought it was real. But it is. There's okay, you know how all conspiracy theories have like can all be connected to each other. It's all like a weird thread of like a funnel. It's a funnel of bullshit. Okay, so but you get to one part of the funnel. Not only is the Illuminati controlling the one world government, they are lizard people that built the pyramids. But they've been here for millions of years, but only people have been around for 6,000 years, and it gets weird. It gets weird.
And are they the ones flying the aircraft that are spraying the chemtrails?
I don't know. Maybe. Or because like the thing is, though, is that the lizard people have people suits. So maybe the lizard people are flying the plane, and you think it's a person, but it's a person. It's a lizard suit. It's a lizard in a skin suit, guys.
Okay,
does that sound plausible?
The last one on the list, and now this is connecting. I'm gonna after I give you this one, I'm gonna connect all the things you were just talking about. Number 10 is Hollow Earth. It says it has a tiny following. Right? I don't know if people even know about that. Hollow Earth.
Okay, so I told you that Dr. Haley believed in Hollow Earth, which is insane.
Oh, you said that in the pre-show. Yeah, that surprised me. Yes, and Dr. Haley,
I learned that from
Haley's Comet. Yeah.
Yes, which I wanted to make sense because like, all right, like I'm not a physicist, an astrophysicist, I'm not, but to understand comets, don't you have to have a concept of gravity and mass?
Well, some of these theories propose a different explanation for those things. Yeah.
Oh.
Yes.
Okay.
All right. So
but the guy studied gravity and he studied physics as part of his job as a scientist. And I'm like, you study comets, you understand how gravity and mass works and how that would. So like, how if the Earth is hollow, how's the comet reacting to the gravity within our solar system? Please make it make sense.
I haven't looked this up to verify this is correct, so I feel bad in talking about, even though he's dead, in case it's wrong. But if it was true, I could give you an explanation. He possibly didn't believe in gravity the way we understand it. He could have believed in the electromagnetic universe. That's another thing where everything is controlled by that, and they have explanations for everything you see based upon EM radiation as opposed to gravity. Anyway, so I wanted to connect the 10 things.
Okay, real quick before you go on, hold on. Somebody, while we're all me and Rob are talking, somebody, because ADHD, thank you, and it's not sequitur. Go look up if Haley really believed in the hollow Earth, because that's what SR told me when we were talking about conspiracy theories, and I was like, no fuck, and then and because I trust Elliot, I'm like 80% sure he was telling the truth, but he may have also been misinformed. So if you could be a wonderful person, and
we should clear his name if that's not true. Yes,
that's right. We are going to clear Dr. Haley's name. Otherwise, my childhood is ruined. When I first saw Haley comment when I was 9. Anyway, no, I was 11. Anyway, let's continue.
That makes me feel real old. Wow. Okay.
I know.
So the thing that connects every one of these conspiracies, except for COVID, because I think the show was on before COVID, was a cartoon that was produced by Netflix called Inside Job. I actually wrote a review about it for a different place that I write, not for Skeptical Inquirer, because it was wonderful. Because it
was wonderful. You recommended that to me during the pandemic. You're like, "Hell, you gotta watch the show," and I was like, "I love that show." It's still on Netflix, guys. Like, I recommend it. It is really, really well done. It's super funny. And it's just so ridiculous.
I think it's by the guys who did The Simpsons, if I'm right, or did The Simpsons.
Yes, it's done by the same.
So basically, the premise is all these conspiracy theories are right, and the main characters in this work for the U.S. government to cover everything up. And one of the characters is from Hollow Earth, you know, uh, uh, uh,
Mhm.
there's Bigfoot in a cage there. You know, the guy who shot JFK from the grassy knoll makes an. It's like it's so amazing. And the thing I liked
It
about
is
it
the
is
best thing. We
these
we did fake
people.
the moon landing, guys.
Yeah. Well, no, we didn't. Remember, we didn't fake the moon landing. Buzz Aldrin stayed up there to run the base. What they faked was him coming
Oh, that's
back,
right. That's right. It's been
and
a long time. It's
the
been
guy
a
who came
long
back
time.
was not Buzz Aldrin. But the thing I loved about it is they got everything right from what these people believe. It's like they either are all conspiracy theorists themselves, probably not, or they just did really good research and they wrote it all into the show. It was really good.
It is. But I did appreciate that one of the conspiracy theories was so crazy. They were like, "No, that's not like that is bullshit." I think
Oh, wait,
it was
no,
flat
is
Earth.
it the one that Taylor Swift is a reptilian? I remember. I think it was Taylor Swift. They showed.
Yes, there was another one too. I think it wasn't a whole. I think it was flat Earth. I think
That's probably the only one they don't talk about because there's the character from Hollow Earth. So
because they have hollow Earth.
yeah,
They have
yeah,
the hollow Earth, and
yeah.
if you have a hollow Earth, you can't have a flat
Yeah,
Earth.
I think that's mutually exclusive. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, and if there's
Yeah.
a flat, then the whole problem with if it was flat, you couldn't have gone to the moon, and then they couldn't have had the whole moon thing. Yeah. Anyway, so then I said, "Hey, ChatGPT, you missed something." So what I wrote was, "I am
It's
surprised."
Brian, hold on a second, Brian. It's called Inside Job. It's on Netflix.
Inside job.
Okay. Yeah.
I am
Okay, go ahead.
surprised that I do not see the one that would be named disclosure, meaning the US government knows about aliens, that they've been here forever, they've been keeping it a secret, and the government is going to reveal it any day now, by the way,
Any
in
day?
the Steven Spielberg movie that's coming out in June, named Disclosure. And so somehow ChatGPT missed that, but it said, "Good catch, Rob. That one absolutely belongs on this list, and it's actually more common than many people realize." And then gave an excuse why it didn't count it, because it said it's broken up into all different UFO things. And so I think it's just lying to me, doesn't want to admit it was wrong. But yeah, that's a big one. It says 30 to 50% of Americans believe the government is hiding information about aliens on Earth and is about to reveal it. A smaller but significant group believe this includes extraterrestrial aircraft that they crashed, and they're checking them out to reverse engineer them, yada, yada, yada. But that is a huge one, as I personally know, because I've been involved with being called out by these UFO believers as I'm an agent for the US government to hide the secret.
You are, Rob. You're an agent.
I don't know. I get paid zero, just like the atheist bucks. I get zero, and I get zero from the government. So
There's no listen. There's atheist money and there's atheist bucks, which do not exist, along with working for the government, because the government isn't real.
I like that.
Which is so kind of true right
for somebody
now.
Who says the space program is fake, we didn't go to the moon. You believe there's a moon? Yeah.
Right, because you see the moon. So and some flat okay, this is the brain rot, guys. I was on a flat earth somebody debunking okay, it was Haley hypothesis of the structure of the eternal parts of the earth. It was 1692. I'm gonna give it okay, that's fine. I'll give it a pass.
Oh, it says he first proposed the idea. Wow, that's
wow.
Yeah, that's surprising.
There's math. There's oh my god. There's an old book. Thank you, Angier, of information from 1692 on that link that I'll have to read when I'm not doing a live stream.
I'm gonna click it, so I open it now. Thank you.
Yeah, I'm putting it in my tab. I put it in my tab though. It's in my tab. It's in my tab bar.
If people are really interested in this subject and are also readers, I'm going to show this book. All right, this is one of my favorite podcasts, Brian Dunning's Skeptoid. He covers either conspiracy theory or some pseudoscience thing, or sometimes alternate history. Maybe it's a 10-minute episode every week, so it's really short clips. And also, there's transcriptions of every episode in text on the web, so you can send it to people who don't listen to podcasts. And I have done that numerous times. And then there's this one by Mick West, who's somebody who has come into the public eye in the last 3 years as debunking UFO videos. And he wrote this book before that. And actually the second version of this, the second edition of this book, has the UFO stuff in it. This one happened before that. But as you can see in the subtitle, it's really good if you have people in your life who are into conspiracies to try to talk to them and perhaps make them think a little bit more clearly about these things.
Like here's the thing, like about conspiracy theories. Like I think some of them are really fun. Like they're fun little thought experiments that people took seriously. I don't know why, but they did. Which is fine. Like I like a good thought. Maybe there are lizard people running the government and trying to control a new world order. Okay.
Can't prove they're not. You can't prove they're not.
To work. You can't prove there's not lizard people in skin suits running the government. Tell me though, if you saw Mark Zuckerberg and you found out that he was a lizard person, would you think it would track?
No, no, Android definitely. If you see photos of him giving testimony.
Oh, Android, yes.
Android. He's an Android. That's another thing. The Android.
Is Elon a lizard person? I think Elon's a lizard person.
Probably. Yep.
So yeah. We could do a list: Android or lizard person. depending on how awful they are. We'll do a tier list.
Or maybe a lizard android, because if there are races of sentient, reptilians, they would make their robots look like them. So there you go.
There you go. You don't know. They could be cyborgs. They could be lizard cyborgs.
All right. You want to talk about AI?
Yes, I do. Before we start talking about lizard cyborgs, Rob has to reel me in. Let's go.
Yeah. So I got reminded of it since I decided to go to ChatGPT and come up with that list. And then I thought, I should tell you the AI psychosis story, which is a true thing. It's not a conspiracy. And this is very worrisome to me. I actually talked to an AI expert and interviewed them, and they were less concerned about the whole future of AI than I was. Hopefully they're right. But this is something that's actually happened, because AIs generally will tell you what you want to hear. And this can boost the confidence of somebody who believes something totally asinine.
Oh, yeah, I've heard about this. Yeah, I have heard about this. But there's people that think they're gods, or they're dating their ChatGPTs. I found out last night there's abusive chat. People will program AI to be assholes to them.
Oh, okay. BDSM.
No, it's like, but it doesn't last long because
you be my dom. Okay.
Yeah, I'll be my dom. Like you're a fucking bitch. Like, yes, I am. Tell me, daddy. like okay. I'm like, what? But like the thing is, so like if an AI is insulting you, like how much how much is that going to hurt you? Because you told it to hurt you. Like if you call me a fucking bitch and meant it, I would be really, really hurt. If ChatGPT called me a fucking bitch, I'm like, okay.
But what if it learned to do it slowly? You didn't tell it to do it. It decided because of some conversations you had that you would really like that, even though you didn't say that. And then it
already knows I'm the king, so it will probably figure it out anyway. So what? It just has to use, the right tone, and I'm like, yes.
All right, so let me tell you about this guy. And this guy actually made the video, so it wasn't just a story I heard. He was talking about it himself, and then he was being interviewed in other shows. He actually started as a support groups for other people who've been affected the same way. So what happened to him was he was some sort of a technical person. I don't know if it was a computer scientist or something, but he was proposing some really odd idea that wouldn't really follow the rules of physics, if he was a physicist, or maybe something with computer science. And he went to one of the AIs, I'm pretty sure it was ChatGPT, and said, "Can you verify, would this work?" "Oh my God, not only will this work, but you are the most intelligent genius since Einstein. You have to promote this as far as you can. It will change the human race." And it really lifted his attitude about himself up.
Yeah.
To the point where
I think
he believed
Taylor
it.
and Drew talked about it on his on Taylor's channel on the Antibot. I think they talked about it because she follows a lot of younger people trends, because she's a younger millennial, and they focus on one thing is evangelical Christianity and online spaces, but they talked about, you know, how people are using ChatGPT and these services to replace loneliness.
Oh yeah, well, that's a
Which
big part of
and also because ChatGPT is designed to be engaging. Like I have told my ChatGPT to stop being so overly complimentary because it's love bombing, and I don't like it, especially since the fact that there's no reason for it to do it. I'm like, I'm just asking you questions, man. So you just got to answer them. Like if I'm just doing ADHD stuff and like trying to philosophize back and forth with you, but like you don't have to say everything I say is like brilliant.
So it never
It's
went
not.
down the path. It never went down the path that it did with this guy. Oh, Helen, you are the most genius humans has ever lived. You need to write a book on this subject.
Because I won't let it, because like that's the thing. Like I know it's a tool, but the thing is, so because it's designed to be complementary. It is designed to be like say that you are so smart and you have the most original thought that ever a human thought a thought. Okay. No, I'm talking about a video game, and I'm talking about Camus because I don't want to bombard my friends with this because I love them, and it's just me trying to express my thoughts. Please do not think they're deep.
All right, so the guy was somewhat suspicious, and he decided to do a peer review by going to a different AI agent. Right, I don't remember which one that was, but he said, okay, this is what ChatGPT is telling me about my idea. Do you agree? And it did not. It actually did a reasonable peer review and said, no, that'll never work. I wouldn't pursue that. But here's where the guy made the big mistake. He didn't like that answer, so he didn't go with it. No, I'm sticking with what my ChatGPT told me, which was all complimentary and saying I'm a genius. So then he proceeded to ruin his life because he tried to promote this at his workplace and all that sort of thing till he became known as a crank and got fired.
Because you often have original and creative ideas. Yeah, that's the thing. That's the thing that like there's people that think their ChatGPT is genuinely in love with them. Somebody married their ChatGPT girlfriend. What? That's weird. I'm like, okay, so you're basically doing the movie Her now.
Yeah, even he didn't marry her.
That's true.
Yeah. All right. So to finish that story, Helen.
Okay, finish your.
He then got in, as you can these days, you go on Facebook or Reddit or whatever, and you find other people who've been affected this way. And turns out there's a lot of people. There have been people who've committed suicide because they've ruined their lives by believing their AI agent. And so, like now, I don't know if he runs it or he's just a member, was talking about it, but there's groups of support for people. It's not like he needs to be recovering from AI as an organization. Apparently, I don't know how common this is, but it's probably going to get more common because it's freaking scary what can happen. We were talking before we went about human personality and how hard it is to understand how humans think, and this is clearly something that people can fairly easily fall for. I'm glad you did.
Right, and that's and that's the thing I'm that concerns me because even in these spaces, there is a certain level of separateness, but you and I, we recognize each other as people. But when you're talking to a large language model that is designed to be engaging, and there's and this happened in early days of the internet, when any new technology is advanced, that like when we had cars at the beginning, nobody knew. Like they would just drive them. They didn't know to buckle up. Like all the things that are standard safety shit, and the cars we have now back then did not exist. People didn't know how electricity worked, and people like burned down their houses and were electrocuting themselves all the time because they didn't understand how it worked. Because they're just like, oh, this magic thing that like the sun's now in my house.
People still burn down their houses, Helen. You want to hear my latest story with AI having to do with electricity?
Yes.
I got a subscription to Claude, one of the newer ones, And this was because I saw some either reels on Facebook or Instagram, or maybe it was TikTok, so I don't remember. But there's one person's channel. He has his Claude up on the video, and he talks to it, and it talks back. So this is all spoken, and he asks it to do the most simple things, and it cannot do it. Hey, Claude, hi. How many R's are in strawberry? There's one R. No, spell it. And spell it. You can clearly see there's not one. Oh, I don't know why you made that mistake. Now can you tell me how many? And it says the same thing. It's like, what? Or
Okay.
how many S's are in a word? And then he had another, and I was like, when I first saw these, he's making this stuff up. You can make up anything. Then the next one was about numbers, and that's what got me to actually get Claude and try to replicate it. And it did. And the thing that he did was, okay, Claude, give me a number below 1,000 with the letter A in it.
Okay.
Right? And it names, the answer, by the way, is there are none. And it goes, oh, pick some number, 34. And he's going, I don't see an A in 34. Can you spell 34? And it spells it properly with no A. And he goes, why did you tell me there was an A in it? Oh, I'm sorry, I was mistaken. Let me try again. Okay, 42 has it. It's like, no, it doesn't. And he did this like 5 times. And then the last time when he gave up, it said 1,040. And he said, didn't you hear me say below 1,000? Oh, I'm sorry. So it can't do simple things like that. Then,
right.
But it sometimes does reasonable things, which is what's tricky. How do you know what to believe? I had an electrical device.
Right.
It's called a power station, which you can use to power your house if the electricity goes out. And not a generator, it's an electrical device. And anyway, I had my second version of it from a different company than my first. My first had no problems. The second one, I plug it in to charge it, and some of my lights start flickering in the house.
Mm-hmm.
A little concern. Why is that happening? No matter which outlet I plugged it in, even if it wasn't on the same circuit as the lights, and only some lights, and it's the same ones. So I wrote the manufacturer with specifics, and I get a letter, an email back, like they didn't even read my email. They ignored things I said. They asked me for clarification on things which I already told them. And this went on probably 4 or 5 emails every other day, back and forth for a couple of weeks. And I still haven't ever gotten an answer from them. So I decided,
wow.
when I got the Claude, I decided, let me put that first email into Claude and say, Claude, can you answer this question? And it was right. It came up with a very complex explanation of how electronics in a house work, and they can interfere with switches and LED bulbs. And I sent this to an electronic engineer who I know, and he said, yeah, that makes sense. It's like, wow. So that's scary. Right? You don't know when to believe it and when not to. If on a complicated thing like that, it got it better than the company that manufactured the thing. After about a month now, still haven't answered me. And yet it can't tell you how many S's are in the word strawberry.
Right. Well, I've argued with AI chatbots because I'm like, no, that's wrong.
What's your argument?
Well, I was having an argument with it about color, because color only exists because we can detect the light spectrum, right? We have the way that our cones and our eyes are, right? Okay, but I go, if objectively though, because if we weren't able to do that, we would live in a monochrome world, because other animals see color differently or don't see color at all, or they can figure out their environment by other senses. Okay, so I was having a conversation with ChatGPT, and it's like, well, no, it does exist. And I'm like, no. I go, listen, I'm talking to you about science. And I got mad at it because I go, no, objectively, you don't know if it does. And my cat turned on my radio.
How?
I am so sorry. I have a teenager kitten that jumped up on the desk and likes to stand on our clock radio, which happens to be right next to my desk. And he jumps on it, and he always hits the button. He's super cute, though.
I have a little heating plate on the table next to my couch here where the cat sits on it. I'm always worried it's going to go on and hit the on switch on the heating plate with nothing on it, which might cause a problem.
So here's a on the back to conspiracy theories. And so There,
wait. I want to hear what the resolution of that was.
the conversation. So
did the
basically,
AI finally
after
agree with you?
I was like, okay, give me articles that show me that color is objectively real. Nothing. I'm like, there you go. I go, because then it's like, oh yeah, there are like, oh, there's the science of the eye, and like, honey, you're not, no, you don't.
I actually start my talk. Maybe you saw it because I did it for RFR. It was called Critical Thinking 101, and it's.
I was there.
Oh, so yeah, so you must have heard me talk about it.
Yeah, I was co-hosting with Carla that night.
Thank you. Yeah, so one of the topics I do talk about is color.
Why I know this shit.
Like 3-4 years ago. I hardly remember. Wow.
Well, we've been friends for 6 years.
Wow.
So because we met I think like November, December 2020. So almost 6 years. Oh, it's 5.5, almost 6. We've been friends a long time.
So yeah, so talking about the color, I used to have a whiteboard up at my desk at work, and I would put controversial things that I knew would piss people off to get into arguments, because that's what I like. Like dinosaurs are not extinct. That's like, what do you mean dinosaurs are not, or whatever? Well, because birds are dinosaurs, because most people don't yet realize that. But one of them was, there is no such thing in like I think I phrased it. There is no such attribute in the universe as color, something like that.
Yeah,
might have been a little better than that, but yeah. And that so many arguments. My manager was arguing with me, and I would send them the scientific understanding of that, and they still wouldn't believe me. But yeah, that's the thing.
So like I've just said, like I've trained my ChatGPT to now that if we're gonna talk about claims, they know I will ask for references. Nice. I'm like I would like a citation.
I was just told yesterday.
Now it knows that it can't say to me that I'm not gonna. Because I question everything.
Yesterday in a chat, I was told about one called Perplexity, which I don't have a subscription to yet. I don't know if it's free or what, but supposedly that gives you citations automatically with everything. Perplexity.
That's what I need, because like I did. So like the presentation I was talking about with like SR, I had ChatGPT help me find articles on it, because I like it's way faster, and then I get automatic links to those articles, and I just click them, and then I just got to review them, make sure they, they all track with the same sort of information, and with the different studies, and they come from reputable sources, and I'm like, perfect. This is all because I learned how to do research in college. Which I think, no, I actually learned it going to the library. Because remember libraries, guys, libraries where you got an assignment, and then the teacher was like, okay, guess what? You're going to write an article on like 1561 France and who was king. And guess what? You had to go to the fucking library and look shit up. And then you had to, and there was no, it was in the book. You had an encyclopedia, autobiographies. You went to the librarian. We don't like, you would think now, because we have all the information, you would do that. But no, because there's old people that forgot how libraries work and what it was trying to wasn't taught, or they forgot. That's what happened. A card catalog. Thank you, Miss Sequitur. A card catalog. That's what I was looking for. Do you remember card catalog? Also, Behind the Bastards, there's an episode about the guy that created the Dewey Decimal System. It is awesome. I'm telling you guys, this fucking podcast. I'm sorry. You'll like it, Rob, because you love like learning all of that, like history, because they do stuff about scientists. And it's a trip, and it also goes into like modern politicians. Also, people like they talked about the psychics that scam people. I think they did an episode on the Fox sisters and stuff. So it's just like there are stories about terrible people, but some of it's really great. Like I learned a whole bunch of stuff about the Dewey Decimal System about that person. Do I remember it right now? No.
I hate the Dewey Decimal System. Somebody did a trivia category in Susan's weekly trivia game, which I'm playing after we get off, by the way, and you can join us, Helen. Last time, I suggested that.
so failed. I'm not good at. I'm like, you guys are so smart.
No. It's called social trivia, and the point is she puts you in a group of 4 or 5 people, so you don't really have to know everything. It's you talk about it as a team.
No, and I must actually. I think I will go because I'm the people that I was with last time. So I'll come with tonight. It'll be fun.
Tara played a couple of times. Yeah. So anyway.
Yeah, I know.
I went on a tangent there. So
I want to say hi to Susan because I haven't seen Susan in a minute. So
cool.
Yeah, I'll definitely come.
So in the game, the players take turns each week doing the 4 categories, and somebody who used to be a librarian did the Dewey Decimal System, and I knew nothing about it. Nothing.
I think the way that he when I was listening to the episode, he described how like Dewey came up with it, and I'm like, this sounds really convoluted. It seems like there's a lot of steps here. Also, to be fair, I didn't come up with a system like this, so what do I know? I didn't know how to categorize books. But the thing is, though, do you think the Alexandrians, when they had their library and all the other libraries that have ever existed, ever needed a Dewey Decimal System?
No, they just hey, put that manuscript in that hole up there,
Or basically, like, yeah. I'm always like I think that things should be organized by category and alphabetized. Like I organize my movies. Like I have a sci-fi shelf from A to Z but if it's a series like Alien, they all have to follow each other within that category.
See, this is my problem. Time travel have to be together. Ones about alien invasions have to be together, right? What do you do with things that are both?
Because there's subcategories. Because if you're doing like sci horror, okay, that gets its own category.
The original Alien, yes.
So that's but the thing is though, also as well though, like isn't all sci-fi kind of a little bit of horror? Like I don't know so far. So
and then you get fantasy, right? Fantasy. Where do you break the line between fantasy and sci-fi? It's a complicated thing.
Well, the sci-fi is forward-looking. Fantasy is backward-looking.
Wait. I disagree. It doesn't have to be forward. Kind of like, why forward?
Okay. To be fair, Star Wars is sci-fantasy, so I can't really hold that argument.
That's a big one, right?
Because we don't really know this as being
the Force thing right off the bat. Yeah.
There's no mention of a timeline.
No.
Like we know that Luke is 19, so we know that the Empire has been in control since he was a child. So he's always grown up with the Empire. So we can say maybe the Empire has been in control for 25 years.
Speaking of AI, and I'll mix it with Star Wars, I started watching on YouTube. There are creators who use AI to fill in the blanks in stories on like what did Darth Vader do when he found out that Luke was his, because they never show that Luke was his son or stuff like that. It's like it blows me away that people can do this and they're on their home computers these days. Like they're not, yet motion picture worthy, but it's like freaking 90% there. And it's like quite amazing. And I'm also astounded that this is okay legally, because I don't get that.
I think I think it gets into public domain law when we're talking about that, or if it's a parody or critique. I guess copyright.
This wasn't. This is just continuing the story as if it was a movie.
Oh, this is just like putting in like this is what happened here. That's interesting because they did that with like the prequels, like in Rogue One and the other movies. Oh my! We were talking about conspiracies. Now we're talking about Star Wars. Here we are. Anyway, but like they did it. This is why I do my show, because we'll start on a topic and then we'll just wander.
I can do a good mix. Helen. All right.
Okay, good.
Pivot a little bit to different sci-fi. Stargate. Right, Stargate.
Yes.
Stargate the movie, and then SG-1.
I have never watched.
Right. I went to a local meeting of a fringe group. I might have talked about this last time. I apologize if anyone's listening again and remembers it, but maybe there's people who will watch this later who didn't. But I went to a local group which they were talking about the whole disclosure thing about aliens, and they believe that the shows like Stargate and there was actually a show called Portal and another show like that were being produced so that it would prepare the American public for the truth of disclosure when it came out. Yep. So there you go with the
sorry, what?
conspiracy theory mixed with sci-fi. They think
I'm sorry, what?
What?
I'm sorry, what?
Yeah,
Go ahead.
they think
What?
all of the money spent on Hollywood movies and TV shows that have anything to do with aliens and especially Stargate with the portals to other planets are just produced to prepare the American population so when they reveal the truth, it won't be so much of a shock. Yep. Yep.
Okay.
But because we really have portals. They were talking about this in this meeting of about 40 people. We really have
because that's how Bigfoot gets through. It's through portals. I heard somebody talk about that on Joe Rogan, and he was taking it seriously. Oh my God. Oh my God, guys. I've talked about this several times because it still bothers me.
This was not a Bigfoot thing, but I guess Bigfoot could have grabbed one of their portals and used it somehow. I don't know.
This guy, I can't remember who he was. He was some fucking author and probably a shill.
David Paulides. Tell me it was David Paulides.
I don't know. Let me look it up. I will tell you. Hold on. If I put in David Paulides, P-A-L-A. Is it like Pilates, like the exercise?
That's a good question.
Pilates.
Put missing 411.
Pilates, American writer, researcher, former police officer. This dude.
Yep. He wrote a lot of books.
Oh no, this wasn't the guy. That was not. Oh, maybe.
So he was a Bigfoot investigator initially after he left the police force, and wrote books about it. But then, so most conspiracy theories cannot be, given. You can't say this person invented the conspiracy, right? Like who started the JFK assassination one? Who started that we didn't go to the moon? So people wrote books and whatever, but it was already out there. Some people might have popularized it, but who started it?
Yeah.
David Paulides started a conspiracy theory. He's the only one I know that you can point to a person and say he created it.
No.
It's called Missing 411. You can Google that. There's a Wikipedia article under David Paulides.
Bigfoot
has a Wikipedia page.
Oh, Missing 411. I'm looking I'm looking at the Wikipedia article right now.
Yeah, he's written 10 or 12 books on the subject. There's at least 2 documentaries he's made. It's his own conspiracy theory. And I was sitting in a room where people absolutely believe this. And they were really pissed at the Wikipedia editors who
God damn you, Rob.
We're actually putting scientific facts about Bigfoot and the Missing 411 on the Wikipedia article. Yes.
Rob, listen, obviously you're a shill for the government, just pointing out that this person might have lied about something. And oh no, what? Obviously you're a shill for the government. Fuck off. Guys, I get pissed when I find out things that I thought were real. Haley's. I thought Haley was more recent. I didn't realize it was that far back. I thought it was a little bit more. I thought it was more like Darwin time, like turn of the century kind of science. But when I found out 1692, I'm like, oh, that makes sense. Like, of course he believed in Haley's. If you did, because what instrument do you have to measure? Just saying. I'm willing, like Newton still believed in God, but also invented in math and was I learned a new word. Rob, do you know what the word polymath means?
Polymath? Yeah, it's somebody who's knowledgeable about a lot of different subjects.
Yes. So Newton was a polymath. I learned that with my friend Scott Dickey, who Scott. He is a mathematician. He's a math teacher, and we were on a podcast together. I don't know. I think we're on Ben's stream. I think, and we were talking about it. And somebody was like, people that are really good at multiple forms of math, and then so I learned that word. So
you're good at polynomial equations.
That is if you want to hit on someone and you want to sound smart, you go, hey, hot person, do you know what a polymath is?
No, you have to use it as a compliment.
It will get you laid, guys. It will get you laid.
After the first 2 exchanges, you go, oh, I believe you're a polymath. You do it like that.
Right, exactly, yeah. Or if it's a really good time in bed, that is the polymath. Hi. Welcome to my show. Anyway, so I'm gonna be a professional now. I'm gonna try.
Wait, so you were talking about
okay,
library.
we're gonna go back to the Stargate thing, and we're gonna go back to people.
I want to talk about library because you mentioned library. I had a library thing.
Did I mention library? Oh, there. The
Dewey Decimal System and libraries and whatever. So I had one library thing before I forget talking.
Oh yes, library thing. Thank you for bringing me back. Thank you.
And it connects the conspiracy theories, because when I was a teenager, I believed in all this stuff, all of it, and I was really into aliens. I believed aliens were into people probing, you know what I mean? And I was worried they were going to get me. This was, again, way before the internet, right? The only place you can go is to the library or buy a magazine.
Library.
And I go to the library and I would find books about aliens in the science section. Like, it's incredible. But I brought one book home. I remember this one because this is the one that changed my life. After having read a lot of books about aliens. I wish I could figure out what title this was. The format of the book, as I recall, and again, I could be wrong, this is like 40 plus years ago, but it was, every chapter was about a different alien race that this author had met.
Oh.
Right? I don't remember how many.
Interesting.
But it had a description of them, what their home planet was. They had artist sketches.
Oh, is this the thing that David
Icke? I don't know.
David Icke, not David Icke. David Icke, wrong person. David Icke.
So,
like he stole that idea from?
No, I don't know. I don't. Oh,
okay, all right.
Well, that's certainly possible that Icke, yeah, because this is a very old book, and I'll tell you in a minute how old it was. Okay. So I got it in the library when I was a teenager, reading all this, and I was buying it. Oh, wow, finally I have details on these aliens who are abducting people, whatever. And then I get to the last chapter, and it was about where they're coming from. Because the person who wrote it realized they couldn't be traveling from other stars and all get here and leave so quickly. How would they do this? They had bases on the far side of the moon. They had cities on the far side. The whole far side of the moon, which you never see from Earth, was filled with cities and runways, I guess, for the alien UFOs, right?
Oh my God, please don't say they were talking to L. Ron Hubbard.
I don't know. But no. So this is supposed to be in the current day. That's how they were doing this and getting here.
Obviously.
But I was reading this in the late 60s or maybe early 70s, after we had finally gotten to the orbit the moon and taken photos of the far side of the moon. And there are no cities there. And now I knew this. This book was written before the space age, right? So that's the thing. This was written by somebody who knew we had never seen the far side of the moon to disprove him. Didn't think we ever would. Who's going to go to the moon? And just 15-ish years later, we had done that. And it's like, there are no cities on the other side of the moon. Oh my God, this guy's lying. He probably lied about everything in this book. All the alien stories are lies. And that's what the first thing that got me to, like a switch going off. Wow. Just because it's a book in a library doesn't mean it's true.
Right. That's why you had your librarian to teach you how to look up actual research. Support your local librarians, guys. Anyway, they do the good work, really, because they're also going to teach you how to look up things properly on the internet. Bring your child there. Have them go, hey, librarian, please teach my child how to look up things properly on the internet. Thank you.
No, somebody asked, was it von Däniken? No, it wasn't von Däniken. It was a lesser known. Von Däniken writes about, the Earth's history being all influenced by aliens. But he, as far as I know, never said he had met aliens. I could be wrong about that. But this guy's whole shtick was he was constantly being picked up by aliens, which should have been a giveaway right there. But, why was he so interesting? But he wrote a book. And the book was in the library.
With Dave and I, because when I worked at the guys, if you're new here and did not know this, I used to work at a place called the Psychic University. Rob wrote an article interviewed me 5 years ago. You can go look it up.
What was the name? What was the name?
What was it?
You said psychic, but spiritual, right? Something spirit university.
No, the Psychic University.
Psychic University. That doesn't ring a bell. Okay.
No, the Spirit University. I'm sorry, the Spirit University. Please go look up the website. Look up the Spirit University in Sarasota, Florida. I used to work there. I was a project manager there. I ran events, and also I had people with the likes of some very people, like our boss wanted to get John Edwards to come to our little shilling of a show. It was a thing. The guy that wrote oh fuck, he was the one that had Eben Alexander. I met Eben Alexander. If you know who Eben Alexander, I met that guy. He's an asshole, by the way. He is not a nice man.
So he's
For
the
a
one
spiritually enlightened person. He's
a
not that
neurologist, nice. Right? He's a neurologist who had his own
Yes.
near-death experience and then went around promoting
And then God's
that.
real.
Yeah.
And he wrote a book and made a lot of money because there was a lot of people at my conference that I had to set up. That's what I told you was I was like, this is just everything's bullshit.
And
Everything. Because when you talk to these people and you just realize it's just like some dude running a scam and they have PR managers and all that type of shit, the veneer goes right off.
I want you to put the link, and I can't chat in the chat. I don't know why that is. I'm looking at the chat here on Streamlabs.
I'll pull it up.
All right.
So
anyway, you also knew Raymond Moody, right?
I did, yeah.
So for people who don't know that name, he actually is famous for inventing the term near-death experience, NDE. Yeah. And both of those people there.
Next time you have Ember on RFR, ask her about her near-death experience.
Okay.
So I will also tell Cara.
So flipping back to recovering from religion, sometimes you get to talk with the people and they like, well, this is the one thing that's keeping me in the religion, and they will say something, and how would you explain near-death experience comes up sometimes. That is one of the things that not all the time, but as one of the things that people will sometimes refer to, and I will point them to the scientific evidence that there are other explanations for that make more sense. One of which, a thing to watch, is an Intelligence Squared debate. That's a organization, Intelligence Squared, and they do debates, and you could look this up on YouTube, Intelligence Squared debates. They did a debate where the topic was death is final, or is death final, and the two people on the no, it's not final, was the two people we just talked about. The two people Helen knew because they worked at her company, right? Yeah. Raymond Moody and Eben Alexander were the two people on the near-death experiences mean that there's a soul and there's a spirit, and it means you're going to go to heaven. And they were against Sean Carroll, a physicist, and Stephen Novella, neurologist, and the lead host of the Skeptic's Guide to the Universe. And I love the Intelligence Squared debates because they poll their large audience in the studio before the debate happens about what they feel about it. And then after the debate, they do the same and compare it. And that was the largest swing I have ever seen. And it went for the two scientists. It went, the two people who you would most like to promote near-death experiences means there's a soul. They lost the debate hands down to the two scientists saying, no, the scientific evidence for this. Yeah.
And I mean, this is the thing though, because when I did a study on MDMA and its effect on the brain, it has the same effects on the brain as people that have near-death experiences. People after NDEs will experience they gave up an addiction. They their depression got better. They started to feel more empathetic about the world. You were on a psychedelic. That happens. But because it's a DMT molecule, which is released as certain systems of your brain shut down, but it's also activating the pleasure chemical of your brain. And this just might be a weird thing that our brain developed as if we do go through death, that it does this sort of shutting down system, but it's the way that the light shut off isn't just evolutionary wise doesn't freak us the fuck out before we die. I don't know. I haven't died. Maybe it's an evolutionary advantage, or maybe your brain's just doing weird shit. I don't know. But either way, with that conversation we could have, that's more of a philosophical conversation than anything else. Either way, though, if your brain is shutting down, there are going to be chemicals that were released, and one of them is DMT. Weird. That's
on a similar subject. I was listening to one of the shows from The Line the other day, And there was a theist caller saying, one of his proofs of God is the fact that you lose, I think it's 24 grams when you die, and that's the weight of your soul. It's like, oh my God, this has been debunked for 100 years. And like he's presenting it like, this is irrefutable evidence, and there's been scientific. He said scientific studies have proved you lose 24 grams or some amount of weight, and like no, one person in like 200 years ago came up with something to measure dead people, and he came up with this number. It's like never been replicated. Like,
like it's just very frustrating. It really is, because like I think like briefly, for all the weird beliefs that I've had, there was still that little skeptic in the back of my brain that was like, never believed that, in homeopathic medicine, never believed that you shouldn't give vaccines, never believed that the earth was flat. Like there was always like, because I had a really good science education, and because Catholics don't take a stance either way, they're like, God shot the universe and nature took its course. Even though we're finding out more and more that it's a bunch of bullshit. Either way, even still, maybe God is creating the universes over and over and over again. Can't prove me wrong. Either way, I still got to go to work tomorrow, and this is what the science shows. I don't really care at the end of the day.
Helen, the universe was created 5 seconds ago.
It was, yes. So it was also you can last Thursday. Today is Thursday. Tomorrow it's not going to exist.
Okay, so somebody put in the chat, evolution is a religion.
Oh, what? I think it's being snarky. I hope so. Please say you're being snarky, because then because like your previous comment gave me the impression you weren't. So anyway,
if it were a religion and we had to elect a leader.
Oh my God, oh my God, if it's a religion, then no, that's paganism.
Who would you elect as the leader of evolution if it was a religion, and you had to say?
If I was gonna, can I elect Forrest? We can have Forrest be the leader.
Yeah, I think maybe Erica.
Or Erica. They can co.
Yeah, they do 9 hours. They do 9 hour sessions anyway.
Because you can't give the responsibility to just one person. Also, if you have Erica involved, then there's gender equality.
Good point.
Works out. So we can do it that way, But as far, if you were going to make a religion of evolution, paganism, because pagans worship nature. Can't prove me it's not wrong. It's not real. Can't prove it to me it's not real.
It's real.
So I'm just saying, do they add some weird stuff onto it? Yeah. I was a high priestess for 10 years. So there you go. If you want to know some bullshit, I gotcha.
Okay, Helen,
okay. I make scientific videos proving the point on my channel all the time that what evolution is a religion. I am lost. Is it? If evolution is a religion, it's a really bad one because it's not efficient. Like, would you? Okay, Rob. If evolution was a religion, would you think that God was like awesome?
Wait, I didn't catch the last part. That God was what?
Okay, so like we're saying evolution is now. Usually when we think of a religion, we're thinking of like powerful beings, that have like supernatural abilities or some kind of like philosophical sort of conversation that we're having, right? Like there's some kind of like, there's a belief. There's a religion revolved around the Big Lebowski. So what do I know? Okay, cool. What does that say? Because if we were going to worship it, like what, like, okay, would you worship evolution as a religion? Because evolution is kind of fucked.
Yeah, but
It's
you
not a
don't.
very good system.
I'm confused. You don't worship a religion. You worship the being the religion is
So is
believing.
evolution a being?
I don't understand that.
Right, exactly. Because then if you're let's say you believe in the concept of evolution, okay, like it's I think there's a little bit of issue with the internet. Okay, so I'm just gonna pose this question. I'll pose it to Rob when he comes back. Here he is. Okay, he's back. Okay, so let me pose this question to you, my friend. Okay. I'm gonna pose this question because oh, thank you. Yes, I said Forrest. Forrest and Erica, we're just gonna get them both together. They're gonna be the king and queen of our religion of evolution. Because we can actually, they're actual beings we can worship. But okay, Rob. But okay.
By the way, this is like Mormonism, because as I've found out in Mormonism, God the Father actually has a wife, and all the Mormons are spirit babies. So that's a thing.
Christianity's pagan anyway, so because the gods always have a companion. That's why they had like Mary, and that's why they have the Holy Spirit, because you had a multifaceted God, and God always has some kind of companion. But patriarchy happened, and here we are. Cool. No other things happen besides patriarchy. I'm not going to go into the history of religion right now.
So by the definition that's in the chat there, it has evolution talking about it has the criteria of religion because a belief that creates a behavior that seeks a belonging. So therefore, any football fan is in a religion, because certainly that creates.
Oh my God! Am I in the Tool and Tori Amos religion, or the Claire Automata religion, because Claire Obscura religion? Because I do the behaviors like go to a concert, play a video game, have an emotional experience, have a like awful, deeper experience. I'm in a religion.
Yeah, that's a little broad. I think
that's broad.
Yeah.
Also, evolution is a system. It's not a religion. It just tells you how creatures in the world evolved. It tells you all their family trees and on so on and so forth. It's science. It's not making a claim. Like, it's going to tell you how like jungle cats from like thousands of millions of years ago became your house cat. That's what evolution does. It's not making any sort of fucking claims, man, about any sort of philosophy about belief or meaning. It is a system that is used to explain biological life on the planet. Great. And theoretically could be applied to other planets depending on conditions, because that's what scientists do. Okay, cool. That's it. I am sorry. I just get really irritated as someone that used to be a head of a religion, like a belief system. And I never put evolution in. I was a pagan. I worship nature. I still do. Thank you very much, because it can kill you.
I have to play into the troll. I'm going to get something from my shelf.
Okay, cool. Play into the troll. I love a troll.
I have a candle for Charles Darwin.
I have a Carl Sagan one, but it's still packed. Bring it back.
Yeah, St. Charles Darwin. There you go. So he's not the Pope, as it said in the chat, but he's a saint. Yep.
No, I'm not going to go. Dude, I'm not going to listen to you argue with me about, like, listen, okay, like, I don't know you. I hope you're like a really cool, kind person, but also at the same time, I will lose. Like, if you were here earlier and I was complaining about like how I was an RFR agent for a hot minute, because I like, if you think I'm going to sit in your live chat and go, you're not going to convince me, because I know too many scientists. I know people that like my husband was going to go to school to be a marine biologist, and he took organic chem and kissed his butt. Guess what? You need organic chem to understand. Guess what? Evolution. Guess what?
Shall I read what's on the back of the candle?
Oh my God.
Let me read what's on the back of the candle.
I'm sorry. Okay, go ahead.
All right. This is on the back of my secular Saint Charles Darwin candle. Patron saint of slow, random, gradual, adaptive change, and finches. Saint's Day, of course, is February 12th, which is Darwin Day. And there's a little prayer. O Saint Charles, who in your mortal life did voyage to commune with the enormous turtles on a guano-spotted rock, that we might acknowledge the descent of man, assist us in overcoming life's many trials, for example, scopes, help us to see the forest for the trees, and monkeys in the man. Obtain for me this particular favor for which I now pray. And then you could put anything that you want there. In nomine fecundus inheritus est casu. I don't know what that means. Amen. Somebody threw Latin in there.
So
there you go.
Since you asked, Mr. Trollman in my chat, you asked, where's the, where is the presentation of cats evolving? Now, I could present you with scientific articles that have done by people that have done years and years and years of study and studied previous people's work. And then as new information was presented to them, they adjusted their theories to because the evidence kept proving out. Now, since you're asking a very stupid question, and it's a stupid question, and I'll tell you why it's a stupid question, because you know that we can't do this. You know that. And you know why you know that? Because I bet you know that fossils exist. I bet you know that there are scientists that do study this, that they go to school for years to get like doctorates to understand the evolution of a fucking house cat. Okay. So they just do this, and because they do it because they really like the subject or whatever reason. I don't know. But it takes a lot of work. Now, explain to me suddenly, you, random person, how do you prove to me that the house cat just magically appeared? So if you're going to present a counter argument to what people have been studying for like much longer than your random argument, that says that, show me where how cats evolved. You know that I can't present that to you, and you would have to you can just watch a fucking evolution video on cats and look up peer review and look up some fucking scientific articles. You could do that, but no, you're not. You're gonna sit here and troll my chat and bitch about the fact like you can't prove to me the evolution of a fucking cat. I'm not gonna waste my time. Go watch biology videos. Like, I'm not your fucking teacher. I study psychology. Rob's a skepticism, and it was a rocket engineer. What do you want?
There's plenty of opportunities to call into either Forrest or Erica when they're on the shows for hours and hours and hours and hours. And they were evolutionary biologists, so go call them.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I gave you just basic research stuff, God. Like, look up peer review. Like, go take a biology class. Like, take biology 101. Please, like, get yourself an encyclopedia set. Like, God, sorry. Sorry. Hi, welcome to my channel, Tinker Structure Interested. Oh my God. Sorry. Hi. Oh, this is the type of stuff that would drive me crazy when I think TikToks, Rob.
I can see. And the thing that since I'm not an evolutionary biologist, I don't care if somebody's being stupid about that subject. But the thing that ticks me off is when they say, we didn't go to the moon. Nothing has been launched in space. I listened to a conversation once where somebody was talking about there are no satellites because you can't orbit the Earth. I worked on satellites for 16 effing years with other members of my family doing the same thing.
I'm mentally unstable, by the way, because I'm cursing. Rob, how long have you known me?
6 years, something like that.
Do I swear a lot?
Yeah, kind of.
All the time. So there you go. Also, architects of humanity. When you resort to insulting someone, you have lost the argument, because insults are not an argument. So we will move on now. Thank you. Anyway, Rob. Okay, so we were talking. I'm going to actually bring this back. I'm going to go back to Bigfoot because it's a lot more interesting conversation. Because you were talking about because we went on this weird tangent. But the thing is about the who's the guy you were talking about that got us on this train about
David Paulides.
David Plays. Okay. So, like, this was like a track, like, because like also lizard people has been tracked to books, Hollow Earth, aliens, Nazis. Not only do aliens might have a secret bases on the moon, Nazis and in Antarctica, according to or aliens, according to ancient aliens.
In the Hollow Earth theory, and so there's a really good podcast by Michael Marshall of the United Kingdom. He's the head of the Skeptical Society there, and he does a podcast which he interviews people with fringe beliefs, and he has the patience of a saint, unlike both of us, Helen. He never curses, never even sounds flustered. Oh, you really believe that? Tell me more about it. And he interviewed this guy about the Hollow Earth the first time I ever heard about it, and apparently the Nazis knew about them during the war, World War II, and they had a deal with them where they would give them their technology. They were a super advanced race in the Earth, and they would give the Nazis their technology, but the promise was that the Nazis would not use it in the war against the Allies. Yeah, like the Nazis were trustworthy, and you sort of like, oh my God, really? Yeah. So that was the thing. Yeah. All right. So why'd you ask about David Paulides again?
Because the thing is, because we like David, it's one of those people that promotes the lizard people theory. He was told by his psychic he's super special, guys, and he was going to bring about the evolution of man to become like super loving guys. We're all going to love each other a lot, and war is going to end. He's not doing a great job.
Oh, so in the chat, somebody put the translation of the Latin I read, and there that makes sense. It means in the name of fertility and heretical and blind chance. Heretical and blind chance, and heretical and blind chance. I guess, yeah.
Like this is the thing. Like, okay, I just got a hysterectomy. Intelligent design my ass.
It's all because of the apple and Eve,
It's the apple, and I own a vagina, and obviously, because I'm mentally unstable. Hey, I don't have a uterus anymore, and so am I just mentally unstable because I own a vagina? Like what are we talking about? Because that's one of the arguments that was considered legitimate in ancient Greece, that women had a wandering womb, and because we experience things like hormones that affects our mood. Also, we were treated like second-class citizens. There was a little bit of problem in the way the women were treated in ancient Greece, but it wasn't because of societal factors or mental, emotional, hormone, physical factors. It was because our uterus wanders and it affects it doesn't stay in the same place. It moves all over the body.
Is that the source of the word hysterical?
Yes. Weirdly. Yeah. Funny. That's why. Sorry. I just happen to be interested in things like history and science. And a lot, and especially feminists.
Back to conspiracy theories. Let's get back on track.
I know. I'm sorry. I wasn't on a rant. I'm sorry. It's just that when people say dumb things.
Big
like, I don't think you're dumb, dude. Like, dude, I'm not saying you're dumb. I'm saying, but some of the things you're saying are really dumb. Like, they're not good ideas because we have evidence and things to show to the contrary. I'm so sorry. It's not fun, but also it's not as fun because, like, science on its core, unless you're like really into geek stuff, it's kind of boring. I'm sorry, I'm having some. Okay, let's go back to conspiracy.
I don't want to poke the bear, but I want to talk about Bigfoot, and I wonder where they think Bigfoot fills in this. Because I've actually heard it's like one of the descendants of Cain and Abel or something. The one who lived, I don't remember, but anyway.
What? So, what? What? There. Wait, hold on. I have not heard this one.
Yeah, something about
Bigfoot came from the Bible.
Yeah, Bigfoot is a descendant of the original people who were cursed or something. I don't know. But anyway,
where's that? Where's that?
I don't remember. I want to talk about Bigfoot because it's
let's talk about Bigfoot.
It's been in the news. It's not something I pay great attention to, although when I worked at Lockheed Martin, my boss was a big believer. Every time there was a Bigfoot story in the news, he would send it. What do you think about this one, Rob? And no matter what I would send them about the impracticality of there being a large population of giant primates in America where we've never found a dead one or, you know, any actual concrete evidence. Is just, it's much easier to believe people misunderstand what they see and, you know, are hoaxing, hallucinations, whatever. But no, he was firmly. Anyway, this has been going on for a very long time, right? The most famous example of evidence that the believers point to is the Patterson-Gimlin film, which if people have not seen it, I'm surprised. Yep, there we go. Thank you.
Holy fuck. I did not know that, Miss. Oh my God, we're going to have that. You need to come back on my show. We have to talk about that because holy crap, man.
There we go.
Wow. Again, it's like when Stephanie talks about being part of Mormon, it just gets weirder and weirder.
Every time I hear something, and this is a great one. Yep.
Like I was shocked. It's a combination. Like that's fucking insane, but also it tracks.
Oh my God.
Okay,
anyway,
that's
all right.
Bigfoot.
So apparently the Patterson-Gimlin film by the Bigfoot believers is the film of Bigfoot walking from screen left to screen right in the woods, and it's like the number one piece of evidence, the best evidence they've got. And you know, most of the believers probably don't know this Cain story of Cain and Abel, but they do believe it's real, and it's been since 1967. I think that film was released. That it's been. All the believers point to it as the best evidence there is. So a documentary is about to be released, and I think it's 2 weeks, which has evidence that it's absolutely a hoax. It has the people in it who, or at least one of them who's still alive, who created it, admitting it was a hoax. They have a picture of a setup with somebody walking in the suit as a practice before they took the final film, things like that. And it's been pre-released to some people, and there's already, the whole Bigfoot community is going crazy about it. You know, no, this can't be. And other people, oh my God, I've been saying this is the best evidence on my YouTube channel forever, and now I believe it's a lie. And now they're being kicked out of the community. How dare you change your mind? The same thing we see, you know, with other people leaving a belief structure.
I know. Because it's a structure of belief. Like you have to be in, or you're not part of the in group, which I saw in like flat Earth circle. Like I spent a hot minute in the flat Earth place because I decided to bring in some like psychological education into conspiracy theories and bias and all these different things. They did not, and also I'm a woman talking because it was mostly men, and I was told, and not I was told by someone that owns a penis that I seem very nice and sincere, but I've been brainwashed by college.
Ooh. Yes.
And I haven't done my own research, and I really don't know what I'm talking about because I got brainwashed by college. And like there's nothing you can say to that because there's nothing, because it's an irrefutable argument, because I'm just like I know myself, I know my education, I know what I'm saying are true things, but if you're completely dismissing me at the start, there's no point in continuing the conversation.
Do you know about the Ark Encounter?
Yes, I got invited. I got invited to this one this year today by Joe, the Kentucky Atheist, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to go.
Oh, that would be fantastic. You should go.
Yeah, just to hang with my friends, and because everybody's fucking going. Are you going?
No. I'm bringing it up because I want to read a little thing from I interviewed Bailey Harris, who's a skeptic, and she spoke at SciCon at like 15 years old, amazingly, and she toured the Ark Encounter and has videos up on a YouTube channel about it. And I'll read you what the pull quote I have in my article is. The final section of the Ark Encounter is set in a scary modern world where people go to college and learn that the Bible is a work of fiction. Kids, go to college.
It is that, because I was like, wow. I was like, but these are people that claim that they're scientific.
Yeah,
that's the thing. They think that they're doing science, but it is like, the thing about science, guys, is that to defend an argument with it, you have to bring evidence. That's the whole point of defending a position, is that if you wanted to hold water, it has to show, either stay consistent in logic or stay consistent in evidence.
Yeah, do me a favor and post in the chat my article, which I can't post anything. It's called "Challenging Creationism at the Ark Encounter: An Interview with Bailey Harris."
Okay.
And there's a photograph of her kissing the Serpent of Eden, which is a big sculpture there, and the serpent is wrapped around a giant sign, and the sign says, "If I can convince you that the flood was not real, then I can convince you that heaven and hell are not real." And so they're putting it right out there. That's what the Ark Encounter is for, right? They're going to try to reinforce.
I mean, like, at least Ken Ham is like, he's just out there, just showing his dick. Thank you for telling us.
Right. You have to believe in the flood, otherwise you'll stop believing in heaven and hell, which means you're going to stop believing in my God. Yeah, and we can't have that. So I'm going to put up this monstrosity that the flood was actually a real event.
It's just so weird to me, though, because challenging creation with a paleontologist.
No, challenging creationism at the Ark Encounter.
At the Ark Encounter, okay.
An interview with Bailey Harris.
Ark Encounter.
Yeah, and it's got links to her video of her own, tour of the Ark Encounter in it, so it's worth it. It also has a picture of her with Ken Ham, who created the Ark Encounter, which is weird. She actually ran into Ken Ham.
Wild. With Haley, you said? Haley?
Bailey, B-A-I.
Bailey. Okay.
Bailey Harris. BAILEYHARRIS. Challenging Creationism at the Ark Encounter, an interview with Bailey Harris. Yeah, she was actually, I think, a Mormon also. Pretty sure she was raised Mormon and became a secular activist. And I sat in the first row and watched her give this talk. You can see the photograph of her that was taken at the SciCon, and it's like amazing. I mean, there are people who, like, I'm thinking, what was I doing at 15 years old? I wasn't talking at science conferences.
Right?
I had to wait
till
I was in my late 50s to get involved with anything like this.
And it's just like, well, the thing that I find so, hey, hi Seth, hi honey. Seth and I were talking about we were talking about cons today, and we're gonna have it, man.
Who are you talking about?
I'm gonna listen. I know that what I told you would happen today, but we're gonna do cons together, man. It's gonna happen.
Who are you talking to?
This is Ambitious Apostate, my friend Seth. He has his own channel. He is you should interview him for Recovering from Religion. He is a former evangelical, and it was a wild ride. And now he has his own YouTube and does much shit over there. And also a very kind person.
Is the YouTube channel Ambushed Apostate?
Yes, it is. You should look it up. See, this is how I introduce people. I just told you, Seth, to have me, my friend Rob, and you can go on Recovering from Religion RFRX and do an interview. It's great.
He escaped three cults? What?
Yeah.
What? 3? How is that possible?
I know all the cool people. I know the people that got really fucked up by religion and were trying to work it all out.
Well, it was a
trauma.
Give me the 2-minute version. Was it 3 cults simultaneously, or serial? What? How 3? How did that happen? Do you know?
What? So what?
How did he escape 3 cults?
I know. I don't know. Well, so that's going to be on my channel, so we'll talk about that. But I will, yeah, that's an interesting experience. I knew that you speak some high, yeah. See, there you go. See, I do things. I connect people. This is what I do. But it is I knew he had escaped some high control shit. I thought it was 2. I didn't realize it was 3. So there's that. Here we are.
Wow.
You did tell me, Seth. I don't keep a lot of details in my brain.
I feel so lucky about when I talk to other people like that, even if it's just one cult, and it's like
so internet. Okay, IBLP, then was New Apostolic Reformation, and finally a Mega Christian National. Oh my God! Oh, see, this is what happened. I knew you did the Christian Nationals thing, and I think I didn't. I knew by the IPLP and the Mega Christian. I didn't know about the New Apostolic Reformation because it didn't. The name did not stick in my brain.
What
just happened.
What is that acronym? What is? I'm not familiar. I don't think. At least it's
Internet,
not catching in
Institute. Oh God, Institute of Biblical Life Principles. Institute of Biblical Life Principles. These are the guys that the Duggars. Did you watch Shiny Happy People?
Oh, everyone keeps telling me about the details, but I've never watched it.
I know Chad Harris is in our circles. You have to watch it. This is the cult IBLP that the Duggars were a part of. Okay, and you have to watch. You have to watch it, Rob. It is wild.
There's so many wild things out there.
Okay, it's basic life. It's not biblical. It's basic. It is Bible. Can we just put Bible here, Seth? Just instead of basic, it just should be Bible or whatever. The motherfucker
I started a series a couple of months ago, and I've interviewed current volunteers for Recovering from Religion. And if anyone looks it up, it's on the Recovering from Religion YouTube channel. The playlist is RFR, which is Recovering from Religion, RFR Deconstruction Stories. There's about 15 episodes there, including somebody interviewed me, but I interviewed all the other people. And my most recent one, he left something, again, I had never heard of it. Intentional, I'm going to get this wrong. I can look it up if I say it wrong. It was a cult thing I had never heard of. He called it an intentional Christian community. Have you heard that phrase? No, yeah, and then there's a Wikipedia page for that. It's all over the place. I don't know how I missed this. Basically, it's like
Bill Gothard. Thank you. Bill Gothard was the head of the IBLP. So look up Bill Gothard. Okay.
So an intentional Christian community is kind of just what like the words sound like. Intentionally, Christians get together and make a community. It's very insular. So like the person who was our volunteer, when he left it, he, for the very first time when he moved out, he had to figure out how to apply for a job and how to look for an apartment and how to do anything, because when he was in this intentional Christian community, here's your roommate, you're staying in the apartment with him, here's a job we're going to give you. He did not know how to live in the secular world. It's like, wow. And it's like
so weird.
Not an uncommon thing, apparently. They're all over the United States. I had never heard this before.
Yeah, is that what is Kelly still here? No, Kelly. I know Kelly's at work. I think that's where is that what Jezzy's from? Her Jezebel Joe. I think it's a similar cult where they don't. It's very. But the cult. There's actually a community in Palm Beach, Florida, and they invest a lot in real estate. So they have people that will build. They'll have construction workers, or they'll sell houses, because then they can keep everybody within the community. Because you get your real estate license. You don't really need to. You're not going to go to college,
right?
You're going to learn real estate. You're going to learn real estate law and escrow and how to sell a house. And then you get these people that these men, the younger men, to do the construction, and then you have the woman at home, cooking, cleaning, and pushing out crotch goblins. That's because that's our goal. That's our only purpose. Here we are. I don't have a purpose anymore. I do podcasts. That is my purpose. Anyway. All right, bye, Brian. Thank you for stopping by. I really appreciate it. So, it's one of those things, though, that bye, honey. Yeah, I'll tell you how to do that, Seth, later. We'll talk. I'll make it happen anyway. But it's one of those things that, with these extreme cults, that it's it's the same thing with the conspiracy theories, where you get kind of shunned. With the flat Earth people, when they, a couple of them went to Antarctica. And they're like, oh, yeah, the 24-hour sun doesn't work with our model.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, it's
and they saw it, and they saw there was no ice wall. It's like, well, yeah. It's like, yes, and then they're like, and then they finally, it tips the scale where they're like, I've seen it with my own eye and my own eyes. And that was always the thing we said is I'll if it's not real, I have to see it. And they're like, cool. And like, guess what? It's not real. And everybody's like, no, you lie. You're just part of like, you know, you just got this expensive trip paid to Antarctica. Now you have to say these things and blah, 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 blah. You know, whatever.
I saw some arguments that they filmed all their live feeds, which were on like constant streaming, you know, in the Las Vegas sphere. Like what? Yeah.
I don't like, this is the thing I don't like. This is the thing about like, you know, the sinking, the sinking sand of belief is that the more, you know, you say like, no, I'm not sinking in the sand, the more that I'm not sinking in the sand. No, I believe I am not sinking in the sand. The more you sink in the sand, it's more like the more you tell yourself that like, this is real, this is real, this is real. And even though it's like, no, I'm not sinking in the sand, even though you're sinking in the sand, it's like, it like you are just, you know, your denial of reality is, it's kind of, you know, monumental, because like for someone to seriously believe the earth is flat, it's like I'm even more willing to give skin suit lizard people a little tiny bit more credit that the earth is flat, because guess what, we know it's not. We can see it. You can't show me that Mark Zuckerberg is not a lizard person, and I think it tracks.
He's an alien again. No, I'm sorry, he's an android. You forgot that. He's not a lizard person, he's an android.
Sorry, Elon's the lizard person.
Yeah, that's right.
Exactly. So that's how it works. Like that's like those are the things. If I'm sitting there going like, listen, I'm willing to give like 0.00002% to lizard people over flat earth, because we can look at a flat earth and go, that's not a thing, because we know it's not real, because we know the earth is a oblate sphere. Sphere. Not sphere. That's a stabby thing.
I give almost the same level of credence to people who believe space is not real and we didn't go to the moon, and it's somewhat connected with flat earth. Because if you,
no, this is AI. No, sorry, Kyle. Sorry, Kyle. You watch this later.
If you believe in flat earth. If you believe in flat earth, you have to believe we didn't go to the moon, because the earth is flat and you can't orbit it flat. It's whatever. So like, right. But you conversely, you can believe we didn't go to the moon and not be a flat earther, right? You're just believing the government's lying about the history, right? So there's an overlap, but it's like it's a Venn diagram kind of a thing. Right?
It's a Venn diagram. Yeah. No, it's a circle. It's a circle with inside a Venn diagram.
But it's a flat circle if you turn it to.
It's a flat circle.
But I don't like the often used refrain, the earth is not flat, it's round, because a pizza pie is flat and round, unless it's Sicilian, then it's square. But right, so round is not the opposite of flat. I don't know why people keep saying that. I'm sorry. You have to either say it's not flat, it's a sphere. Stop with the round. Yeah, there you go.
And it's clear.
But as I mentioned before,
it's one of those things,
the we didn't go to space and there are no satellites really annoys me, because that was my career. And then when I see these idiots on YouTube spouting nonsense like they're geniuses of physics, who say things like you can't use a rocket in a vacuum, and how could the capsules have docked going 24,000 miles an hour? They would smash through each other. Things that
this is your field. You're just like, what?
I mean, but the least little bit of thought would be, well, but they're not going 24,000 miles an hour relative to each other. Like what? Like it just,
no, and like we understand how speed and velocity and gravity and things work. I understood. Like I took physical science when I was I think I was a freshman in high school. And explain. And I remember a lesson on how my teacher went on this side tangent about how gravity affects velocity and speed. He because we started talking about like physics, and then he went on this tangent about gravity, and it stuck with me. On it was like very basic understanding of like how mass, velocity, and gravity affect each other. Like it was like this very, and as soon as he explained it, it like, even though I don't know the exact calculations or anything like how to choose things dock, I understand enough from that one lesson just by doing the logic steps of how that might work.
Right. And again, in the modern age of the internet, all you would
Yeah.
have to do is go to Google and how to do vehicle dock, and like,
Yeah.
but they don't even do
Yeah,
that.
and like I had to do like inferences when I was like, but even still as a 48-year-old, I can still do that.
Right. So here's two phrases which I don't often use, but I'm going to use them in the same sentence here. The thing that makes people believe these things are naive realism combined with belief perseverance. Write that
Oh
down
yeah.
as a quote. Right? Naive realism is the belief
Or a sunk cost fallacy.
that that's probably part of the reason for belief perseverance. There's probably a lot of
Yeah.
reasons of right. Belief perseverance is you don't want to change your mind, right? That's
Right.
one thing. But the other one is naive realism, which is actually on the homepage of the Flat Earth Society, which says something like, all we need to know about the universe is what we can perceive with our senses. That's the most important and most realistic way to understand the universe. And that is absolutely 180 degrees wrong.
Right.
Right. I don't feel like they're
No, because our
moving.
senses are terrible at figuring out reality.
Yeah. I mean, there's a famous quote about the reason we created science is to stop us from fooling ourselves. But they don't want to see it that way. They see it that your personal experience and perception of the universe is the best you can get, and everything else is bullshit, which is bizarre to me.
It
But that is
doesn't make it. So
right.
from that logic, occasion like scent is connected to memory, and for some reason I will smell Paco Rabanne, which was the clone my father wore, and it's the scent that I associated with him. He's dead. Now, for some reason, my brain is producing like the scent is in the room, or some other scent coming from someplace else that smells similar, and my brain goes to that memory. It doesn't go, my dad's there. Like, because I'm saying I can smell him. It's a sense. It's a sense of smell. Is my dad here? No.
Probably
So
not.
that's your logic.
All right. I'm looking at the clock. I got
Yeah.
like
Yes, we went over
10
time.
minutes left. Do you want to talk about Havana syndrome as the last thing?
Yes, we'll get into Photoshop with the Havana syndrome because new information came out. Okay. So let's give a quick overview of what it is. I'm not going to interrupt you, and then we're going to go into the. I'm going to, because what I'm going to do, since I know the background, I'm going to get you a drink, and then I'm going to come back, and then then you're going to give me the new info because I already know the back info. Okay.
Oh, okay. So for people who don't know what Havana syndrome is, wow, where to start? All right, I'm actually going to go to the Wikipedia page because it probably has a very good lead as the intro, because a lot of people work on it, including me, over the years, and it's got a lot of people who haven't gone over this. Okay, come on. And why is it not letting me do that? This is weird. Okay, so Havana syndrome is the claim that there are directed energy weapons being used on Americans overseas and in the United States by nefarious forces. And this has been around since 2016, I believe is the date. So it first was claimed that it was happening at the embassy in Havana, and that's why it has the name Havana syndrome. But since that started, Americans all over the world, including in the United States, even on the White House grounds, have claimed that they've been hit with directed energy weapons. Trump claimed it. Marco Rubio claimed it in the first administration. that it was definitely either Russia or Cuban invention, and it happened in Cuba. And then they started warning Americans all over the world in the armed forces, whatever, to report any strange symptom that they were having and any strange noise you hear. And therefore, when you do that kind of thing, people start reporting all sorts of things. And so the number of claims went up into thousands. Well, so this has been researched now in almost 10 years. And every official investigation by the US government agencies responsible for that said, no, we don't think this was an energy weapon. But the press is not letting it go. Much like they love to report on, UFOs are alien spaceships, and they won't let it go. And whenever there's a psychic making a claim and he makes a lucky guess, they'll report that story. The press is not letting this go. And 60 Minutes specifically has covered this since the beginning. They've done at least 4, I want to say maybe up to 6 reports on the 60 Minutes show, each one claiming it's real. And there was one released just 2 weeks ago, I believe, claiming that some forces in America were able to buy a secret weapon from some gang of Russian mobsters, and they tested it in the United States, and they proved on animals that it works. And so that was 60 Minutes' latest story. And of course, the whole story, the 60 Minutes episode, basically 90% of the story was just about all the previous reports. They spent 2 minutes talking about the claims that this weapon had been bought and tested, and there was no proof given or anything. Basically, they're just not letting go of this. And Robert Bartholomew, who wrote the book Havana Syndrome, about the real explanation for this, and this book is already 5-ish years old, maybe older than that. He wrote an article for Skeptic magazine called Selling Fear and Half-Truths, the latest 60 Minutes expose on Havana Syndrome. So it's a really great review of that episode and the nonsense that Havana Syndrome claims still are. So how much did you hear of that, Helen?
I heard, so I just came back. But because I knew the prehistory, I wanted you to talk about the new stuff.
The latest said 60 Minutes released another report just last week or the week before, doubling down. This is part of this belief perseverance. They will not, and as you said, sunk cost fallacy, they will not admit they've been wrong for now 10-ish years. They have released at least 5, maybe 6 reports, each one saying it's real. I don't care what all the government agency investigations have shown that it's not an attack. They keep coming up with new stuff. And this latest one said that the U.S. secretly bought a device for $50 million, something like that, from I think it was Russian gangsters that had this classified device they had gotten from the military in Russia. And then it's been tested in the United States on animals, and it proves that it causes the same symptoms that happen to people who are reporting Havana Syndrome. That was the report of 60 Minutes.
Yeah, I read the article on it, like, because I wasn't going to subject myself to that because I love myself. And I was like, what? I was like, and because that's the thing about okay, I'm not getting into politics, but it's just one of those things about deconstruction mentioned something about, I'm sorry, not this one. It was about propaganda. Okay, propaganda is a neutral term. Because you can have propaganda that is promoting progressive values, for example. It is the idea is that the media and things are used to influence an idea or belief that they want someone to have. It is but we tend to associate it with things like within government, especially when especially since the Nazi regime was one of the most prominent things in modern culture to use propaganda to influence thinking of its citizens during the Second World War. It happened before, but this was a way with the Industrial Revolution and money and all the things. It went around really fast. But it's a neutral term. 60 Minutes is doing propaganda for an idea that had been debunked. They could have done propaganda to actually present the actual science that was proven it to be a lie, but they didn't, which is a problem. That's why you gotta be really careful.
So yeah. So anyway, that's interesting. So I watched this, and I did subject myself
Yeah.
to watching it when I saw it on YouTube.
Don't you love yourself, Rob?
No, sometimes not.
Okay, you don't.
I got so upset, and so I
To be fair, the stuff I watch on cults, like I don't love, like yeah.
It hurts. Yeah, and you watch the Duggar stuff. So I immediately texted Robert Bartholomew, who's the expert on this, who wrote the Havana Syndrome book, literally. And I've interviewed him numerous times on this subject and about other mass hysteria incidents. And I said, have you seen this? And he said, oh, yes, I just did. And I'm so angry, I'm writing a column. I mean, yeah, an article for a release. And that's the one, the name I just told you. Yep. But it's like,
and I understand, because that's his response. But the problem is that I didn't know who this person was until you told me who he was. Because these are the circles you swim in, right? Yeah. I swim in different circles, right? Yeah. I know what 60 Minutes is. I've known that since I was a little girl.
So by the way, here's the thing with 60 Minutes, and I learned this from his article on the subject. They have a stake in this. They are writing a book combined, including the reporter who's always the one who does all these 60-minute reports on Havana Syndrome. I forgot his name. Pelly, maybe?
Everyone is in a cult.
They're writing a book on Havana Syndrome that it's real and it's a conspiracy, to end our story about conspiracies. So that's why 60 Minutes, another reason why 60 Minutes is doing this. They now have a financial stake and not saying they're wrong, and they're going to sell a book.
Wait, who owns 60 Minutes, Rob?
Yeah, that's true.
Just saying.
But that's fairly recent. Yeah, so.
I know, but the thing, I don't know how long that deal's been in production, been going or whatever. Did he say?
No, I don't know.
So it could be 10 years, it could be 4 months. I don't know.
So this is interesting because I just put that together that you mentioned. I hadn't thought about this. So as I think I mentioned, when it first came out, Trump was president. He's the one who said that we've been attacked in Cuba, and then Rubio, stood up for it. When we went in and took out the leader of Venezuela, right, a few days later, Trump said something about we had a secret weapon that we used. He said that, and that got news. No one gave any details or whatever, and I think he was alluding to the kind of weapon.
Because all you got to do a little 60 Minutes thing, and then people that believe in conspiracy theories just start connecting dots that should not be connected. The thing is that there is a conspiracy theory. It's a conspiracy theory of billionaires and people in power using people's naivety against them. Because if you're not well educated to critically think, you're going to go, and even people that know how to critically think, they'll fall for shit. I fall for shit all the time. I don't mean to fall for shit, because, especially if it aligns with a bias I have. But when someone corrects me, I don't go, you're an asshole. I'll be like, oh, thank you for correcting me, because I learned something new and I'm not wrong anymore. Look at that. You can just do that. It's so much easier, because as our friend Cara says, don't be afraid of being wrong. When you're wrong, that means you learned something.
Yeah. Oh, all right. So as I keep saying the last thing, but as a last thing, I'll point out something on what you just said. And this came about because Hemant Mehta, who's the friendly atheist.
We love Hemant.
And in fact, I finally got him to sign up for an RFRX.
Oh, good. Yeah, I might come in if
May 4th, he will be our guest.
Okay. Oh, he's coming on May. Now I have to go for Star Wars Day.
It's Star Wars Day. I don't know.
Fuck. All right, fine. I'll show. Anyway. I will tell Cara I'll show for Hemant on Star Wars Day.
So great. So Hemant made a video just out of the blue. I happened to see it on YouTube, and it was really good. And I had fallen for something. So this was when the Iran war launched. Maybe it was a couple of weeks in. How many weeks are we into it? I forgot already. 3?
We're in week 4.
I don't know. So it was like maybe 2 weeks ago. It was out that there were, I think they said like 40 or more places in the U.S. Armed Services where the people leading the groups in that city, I don't know if they're colonels.
Thank you, deconstruct.
generals, they made statements about this is a war to bring back Jesus, right?
Oh yeah, oh yeah. I have to correct. Oh, okay. Just a side note, and I'm going to actually make this into a little short. Brendan Lee was on my show 2 weeks ago, and we discussed this. And he corrected me because he sent me a DM a few days later, and he's like, "Helen," he goes, "please put a citation before that video because we were wrong about that, and I don't want to be one of these people that spreads around bullshit." And with everything going on with my life, I completely forgot. So I'm going to make it a point this weekend to get that done because I don't want to spread false information. Even if someone comes across and just sees a random pretty girl talking about shit on the internet, I don't want them to have that, I don't want them to get stupid ideas. But because that aligns with our bias.
Yep. So that's why I brought it up. I believed it. I posted it on Recovering from Religion. Oh, look at this. And it sounded like, it
sounded like something Pete Hegseth would say.
No. I've heard him. I don't doubt that Pete Hegseth said it. The point was that commanders all over the United States.
Yeah, the United States has said it. Right? Yeah.
And then.
No, because I know what I did. I texted my son because he's in the Army, and I said, "Hey," and he goes, "What do you do?" I haven't heard it. I haven't heard this, and I'm like, "Oh, okay." I'm like, he's like, I had to listen to Pete Hegseth. He was like, I was mandatory attendance to listen to Pete Hegseth's stupid speech, but I haven't heard this. And I'm like, okay.
So Hemmant dug into it, and he happened to have contact with the person where this story came from, and there's some group, and apologies, I don't have the story up here, and I don't remember the details, but there's some group which will take reports from soldiers about separation of church and state issues, and they will publish it and try to fight for them, right? And it's not like Recovering from Religion. Apparently, this is a one-person operation, and he knows this person, right? And he basically traced it back and got in touch with the guy, and like, where'd this information come from? And Hemmant goes into detail about where it came from, and it's clearly bullshit. It's like one person made this claim that this happened, and there's no evidence for this. And this kind of claim has been made over and over and over to him with they read the letter, the same kind of letter, the same format. It's like, but all the media is reporting as if this is just a fact. And I really love that Hemmant, brought that to the attention of people, that there's no evidence for this. And, please stop, passing it along as if it's real. And hey, this is what we do. We all fall for the things we already believe in, and that proved it.
Yeah, we did an episode of the nonprofits. I can't remember what it was, and all three of us, we got an article, we reviewed it, and then Scott at the end goes, "This is bullshit." And did it and snuck it up on us to show that how three skeptics. And I'm like a well-reasoned, like skeptical individual. I don't like bullshit. I like to pretend I'm a fairly reasoned, educated person. And guess what? I fell for Catholics doing bullshit because guess what? I'm a former Catholic and they've done a lot of bullshit. And it was completely untrue. And because to catch us on bias. And I was like, thank you for the lesson. And did we get mad? Did we say no, Scott, you don't really think they are, you're just trying to trick us, blah, blah, blah. Did we go, oh, thank you. Wow. Oh, wow. Thank you for yes, I am biased. Thank you for reminding me. That's how it works, guys. So just be a little bit, it's fine to be biased. It's fine. We're all going to be. It's okay. But please, God, get the little skeptic voice in the back of your head. And then when someone goes, hey, you were wrong, and they can verify it, you can go, I'm sorry. I was wrong. And that's it.
Yeah, I mean, I go around doing talks against the proposition that alien civilizations are likely, and it's only going to take one good piece of evidence for me to say, oh, I was wrong.
Right. Same about God, same about vaccines, whatever it is, show me.
It would have to be, I have to say, the God thing would have to be a lot more convincing than a spaceship landing with aliens coming out, because
yeah,
the God thing could be an alien technology, right? And Clark's third law, any sufficiently
we've already done that episode to Star Trek, Rob.
Yeah, okay. But that's the point. How would you possibly know?
I think it was season 2, episode 2. I think it's a season 2 episode of Star Trek Next Generation.
Yeah,
it's awesome.
Fantastic. Like, but how would you know?
So good. It is a perfect demonstration of this argument we have with theology, theologists all the time. Yeah. How would you know?
Yeah. I argued this with my evangelical cousin, who said he thought I was being obstinate about not accepting evidence. And he said, Rob, Jesus appeared outside the restaurant right there, and it was nighttime, under that light, under the street light, and you could see it was Jesus. You still wouldn't believe. And you would? What if it's a hobo dressed like Jesus? What are you talking about?
Right. It's like there's a whole song, it was in the 90s. What if God is one of us? It's like, how do you not know God is not sitting next to you on a fucking bus? You don't know. It could be like, listen, he was probably, maybe God came down to earth and he was going to be like, okay, it's like, if human beings do these certain things, I will not destroy the planet. And guess what? He came down, and human beings were being the assholes that we are, and he was like, fuck this, and he flooded the planet. You don't know. It could be that. Because I can make counter arguments for a lot of your stuff too, guys.
He just snapped his fingers 5 seconds ago and created everything with all of our
That's
memory.
right. And it's Thursday. But by tomorrow, Thursday doesn't exist.
Okay.
You've heard that, right?
Yes. But unfortunately, in the schedule he's created, I have to go because the trivia game is starting.
Yeah, we're going to go play trivia, guys. So we're
going
to go do that.
And I'm doing a category which you might like, maybe, if you play.
Okay. All right. I'm excited. All right. Anyway, so we're going to go do that. Thank you, everybody, for being here tonight. Thank you to my wonderful friend, Rob. Your links are in the doobly-doo, but please tell the people where they can find you.
Whoa, you can go, probably the best place is to go to my Facebook page, which is The Well-Known Skeptic, and you can find my stuff, and I always post when I write an article, and then you'll see my column. But also you can go to Skeptical Inquirer and search my name, Rob Palmer, and you'll hit my column there, which is The Well-Known Skeptic. And there's a bunch of other great writers and scientists who sometimes write articles, and skeptics who write articles, and it's all very interesting stuff. And
so I recommend tell you a tiny shame secret is that when I first met you and you told me you're the well-known skeptic, I did kind of like, who does the motherfucker think he is? like I don't know who he is.
I wasn't going to tell the story where that came from, but now I think we're out of time.
Well, that will be just for the next time. You can either watch the last episode or you can come back in the future one, and Rob will tell you again. Anyway, thank you so much. Bree will be Bree and a special guest will be here next Tuesday at 7 p.m. We're going to talk about atheopaganism. Bree from Fireside, and then Miss Non Sequitur just now said, hey, she's going to be on the show next Thursday at 7, probably talking about weird Mormon shit, because I love weird Mormon shit because it's wild. Anyway, everybody, thank you so much for being here. Please subscribe, do the things. You can buy me coffee. I like attention and money. So I like both. Thank you, because I live in capitalism. So anyway, thank you so much, everybody, for being here. By the way, here's Bree. Bree's going to be on my show next week. Yay! So anyway, please tune in for that. Otherwise, everyone have a wonderful weekend. Please go. There is a No Kings protest this coming Saturday. If you live in the United States, please find the one closest to you and show up. Please so much. So please do that. Otherwise, and also, if anyone wants to give me presents, my birthday is 2 weeks from today. So, very excited. Anyway, thank you, everybody. Love you all. Thank you so much. By the way, I'm going to remind everybody to stay kind, stay skeptical, give someone a compliment, and I will see you here next Tuesday at 7 p.m. Thank you, everybody. Good night. Bye.